Humanity is going through difficult moments like never before. We have lost our loved ones with a glimpse of an eye like never before. Our lives have been affected dramatically like never before. Our relationship with our Creator will never be the same like never before. Our priorities in life are dictated to us like never before. Our freedom is no longer in our hands like never before. And life will never be the same after these difficult moments. Join our live Ramadan show like never before with Hatim Al-Abdissalam and engineer Muhammad Farooq on Oman FM, your nation station, every Saturday till Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. to discuss our lives like never before.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and peace and blessings be upon our beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to your program Never Before, with me, your host Hatim Al-Abdissalam, and my dear brother engineer Muhammad Farooq. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful, alhamdulillah. What about you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Muhammad, today we are talking about something that is very dear to my heart and very dear to your heart as well. And the topic of today is volunteering. And before we start, we would like to salute all the volunteers out there today in the world who have dedicated their life to save other people's lives, to feed other people, to do a lot of work or act of goodness in these difficult moments of the pandemic, and they are risking their own lives for the betterment of humanity. So may Allah bless you all volunteers out there, and may Allah give you the reward of this work. You have shown us as a society that you are proactive and you are the cream of the society. You have not sat idle at home doing nothing, but you took things into your own hands and you went out to the street, and you are helping and supporting the government in taking care of the situation at the moment.
Correct. Yeah, basically volunteering is the act of benefiting others without expecting any return from them. On the contrary, expecting a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
And it's one of the best and productive forms of sadaqah or charity. Another thing is people often think of volunteering as time, giving time, which in the first place is quite challenging because we have limited time. So especially when it comes to people that Allah has blessed with a lot in terms of money or wealth,
yes,
they are okay in giving huge amounts of donations. But if you ask them to speak at a conference, they'll still charge you a lot of money because their time is very valuable in their perception. So volunteering could be money, it could be time, it could be skills, expertise, or just listening to someone, calming them down, giving them advice and counseling them. These are all different forms of volunteering, which is the lifeblood of any community. So in terms of money, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 34 verse 39, but whatever thing you spend in His cause, He will compensate it, and He is the best of providers. So while we all understand that spending time with our family and our loved ones is crucial, but also spending time in charity, an act of giving, is also way up there. And it should not be something, okay, I'll volunteer if I have time.
Yes.
Okay. It should be a normal, regular habit, even if it's a couple of hours a week.
Yes.
It should turn into a lifestyle, because when we say I don't have time. We always have time.
Yes.
What that means is, it's what you're telling me to do is not a top priority in my mind. I don't see any benefit out of it, so I'll tell you I don't have time.
Yeah, and mostly, Muhammad, we don't associate these activities as being an act of worship, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in many places in the Quran, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who believe and do goodness.
Exactly.
And this is doing goodness,
Yeah.
and this is the time where goodness is most needed. So I don't think any one of us, Muhammad, in these difficult moments can claim that they don't have time.
Exactly.
Time is available. Most of the people don't go to work, and today, inshallah, we're going to present and show you that sometimes you don't need to be a volunteer on the streets. You don't need to be on the field.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to volunteers in your own capacity, in your own way. And also you can volunteer by just sitting at home, and obeying the orders of the government is also part of volunteering and listening to the instructions.
And plus you can work your social media skills.
Yes.
And you can use technology to do volunteering. So if we look at some of the fruits of volunteering, a lot of organizations, social services, conferences, feeding the hunger, sheltering the homeless, especially in other places in the world where this is more prominent.
Yes.
It's something that happens around the clock. And even here in Oman, we have a number of organizations which do resort to and encourage volunteers to come on board. And this is especially very beneficial for students because before they hit the corporate lifestyle, they get to understand the reality of the society.
And it molds their personality.
Exactly.
It makes them
it grooms
better
them,
people.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, by engaging ourselves in these actions, we demonstrate the love of Allah we have. Because Islam is not just theoretical, buried in books.
Yes.
It's very practical. It's very in your face, and this is one of the perfect examples of that. However, before starting in any kind of volunteering activity or capacity, we need to look at two things, and this goes for everybody, including myself.
Yes.
First of all, we need to straighten our intention. Okay. And second, we need to focus on ikhlas, or sincerity, that we're doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's okay if we put a few snaps on social media to encourage others to do the same. It's okay if somebody else captures your image and puts it in any electronic or print media to encourage others that work is going on. All right, but it should not be where you're giving money to someone and then you're taking a selfie and you're spreading it all over the social media platform. That's going to defeat the whole purpose.
This brings me to some of the reasons, doing it for the wrong reason. I was involved in more than one volunteering campaign, and I noticed maybe some of the volunteers, they come there for the wrong reason. So they come either for the food, they come to meet their friends, they come there for the free t-shirts, they come there to meet the opposite gender, and so on. So we just wanted to remind ourselves that the Prophet ﷺ says the intention of the believer is greater than his deeds. So purify your intention, make sure why are you there in the first place. If you're not there for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to serve humanity, then my friend, it's better for you to sit at home.
Exactly, because see, you will end up demoralizing other people as well. I mean, if somebody is gone to volunteer for the first time and he happened to be a young boy or a girl from a school or college, they'll come back home and tell their parents, why did I have to go there? So and so was there, he didn't do anything, he was cracking jokes and wasting time, and I didn't find them very serious. I'm not gonna go. So we have to be very careful. So some of the do's and don'ts of volunteering are important, because sadly this thing again is one of those topics which is not taught in school in an organized way.
Yes.
So we just look here and there, and whoever we find they become our role model, and we try to imitate them when it comes to volunteering.
One of the things that I want to mention also when it comes to this, Muhammad, is following orders.
Yeah.
Normally, volunteering groups, they have a leader, and you have agreed to become a volunteer, so you have to follow orders.
Right.
You are not working independently. You're working within a team. So sometimes what happens, Muhammad, you are within the team, and the leader said, okay, this group will take the boxes. So you say, no, I'm not here to take boxes. I'm here only to do paperwork.
Yeah, you're not paying me.
You're not paying me, and then you become rebellious in the middle of goodness.
Yeah.
So you miss out the whole point of being a volunteer. People who are doctors, engineers, and very high in status in the community, you see them sometimes going to volunteer. They carry sacks of rice, they repair, they do paint jobs, they carry boxes, they feed people, they clean, and so on. So this is the core of volunteering.
Yeah.
If you're not ready to be humble and do these things, then just sit at home with dad and mom and watch TV. Because
don't demoralize.
There's no point.
Don't demoralize others.
If you're coming to volunteer and you have that ego inside you that I'm better than everybody else, and I just did my nails and I'm not gonna get dirty, so there's no point of you being there.
I'm only here for selfies.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the things is like, okay, let's say you fixed your intention, you have in your mind that your ikhlas is the top thing, you're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to help, benefit His creation. Then what do you do next? So first of all, you get organized. Don't wait. Don't say I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next year, or once I finish such and such, then I'll do it, or once Corona is over, then I'll do it. Not like that. And this should be a priority in our lifestyle, especially being a Muslim and all. And the results of volunteering is amazing. In addition to the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we get a lot of benefits in the society as well. If you especially look at the West, a lot of the Muslim community centers, Muslims being as a minority over there, a lot of their worship places like masjids, they've been built a lot through the efforts of volunteers. Some of the publications like newspaper and magazines, they're run by editors who are contributing their expertise for free. Okay, so there's a lot of khair which is coming out of it. Other examples include donating blood at the local blood bank.
Yes.
Back home, this is a big thing, especially after Corona, when all the resources have been diverted. Children who need regular blood transfusions, a shortage started to happen. And then number of volunteers, they stepped in and they gave blood donations.
And I wish today if we had a call from the Ministry of Health or any of the hospitals to tell us a little bit more about the initiative of blood donation. I totally forgot about that. But the number to call is 24602058, 24602058. If there is anyone from that sector who can call us and tell us about this effort, then we'll be more than happy to
accommodate them.
And talk to them and to inform everyone about this. Inshallah.
Exactly. So we talked about the blood bank. Then there is the food bank where you collect food like canned items, things which are not perishables, the bare essentials, and you distribute them to the people who need help. And top of the list obviously are the orphans, needy children, in Corona environment, people who've lost their jobs and they've depleted their savings.
Yes.
And being the month of Ramadan and all, we should be more
considerate.
Yeah, more considerate, and don't wait for them to ask you. So identify them. If you're interacting with them on a regular basis, you will know that they are needy. They might not be asking you, but they need it desperately.
And we should save people that humility to come and ask. Yeah. So that's why it's very important for us to be proactive and go out there and find out and ask. You will definitely find them. You will definitely find them. Sometimes you see you are driving on the street and you see people just staring at you in a way, sending you a message that I am in need. I don't want to extend my hand. to beg.
Exactly.
So, this is the time for us to help one another. You can have food items in your car, and whenever you see people, just pass by, open the window and give it to them.
Exactly. And helping even in times of calm or in times of crisis, helping the needy of the society is a big thing. Like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, I am an orphan's guardian, whether he's a relative or not, will be like these two in the garden, meanings in paradise.
Yes.
And then he indicated his index finger and the one next to it. So these things are quite big, even from the divine teachings.
Yes. So I think we have the first person or the first caller for today, Muhammad.
Yes, we have brother Bilal Moin. He's very active in the local community.
Mm-hmm.
And since the corona COVID-19 situation has escalated, he's become very active with his group of volunteers, and we'll let him describe what he's been up to.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for providing me a chance to speak about the volunteership. Specific this ongoing pandemic, it's hitting brutally all over the world. And if we talk about specific Oman, in Oman also we got lots of requirements to do this such volunteer work at the moment, because majority of companies are laying off their employees. The majority of businesses are closed. The peoples are still have to buy the groceries and pay rents and all this stuff. The expenses are same, but there is no earning. So this is what hitting peoples directly and badly. So they are affected now commercially and psychologically too. So what we are doing now, we are doing some exceptional sort of volunteership here in Oman. We don't have a single money involvement in it, and it's a fantastic idea what we are implementing nowadays. Suppose if you want to donate something, we will give you the needy of your own area. Like if you are living in Salala, we'll give you the Salala guys. If you are living in Sur, we'll give you the Sur guys who are in need. So you can go and give anything you like to donate them by your hand, and it's only for food box, like the ration, the daily use thing like wheat, flour, rice, oil and something like that. So the system what we are doing, it's all over Oman now. So if somebody is contacting us, we are just providing them the peoples in need in their own area, and they can go themselves and they can deliver the food after verifying to them. So what we do, we also do verify. Suppose we have 3 categories of needies. One is a desperate need, like they are sleeping hungry. The other is okay, they can have 2-3 more days survival. They got some reals or they got some food in their home. The third are okay, they can still survive 10-15 days. Still they are having some like cut off salary, but still there is some salary. So among these 3 categories, we are providing whoever is contacting us, we are just giving them the needies of their own areas, and they are giving them in their by their hands. So in most of cases, even you can say 95% of cases, we don't know the needy, we don't know the donor. Both are new to us, but we are becoming the bridge among both of them, and we are just getting them meet up together to help each other. So this is how we are doing this, and it's going fantastic, and it's a real need at the moment, because of this ongoing pandemic. It's a real need. Everybody has to step up to support their surroundings, and there are some challenges, yes, because nobody can move freely. So everybody who is going to get this done, they are keeping the complete safety as
social distancing
described and briefed by WHO as well as the Oman Supreme Committee. We are keeping all the these things in mind, and then after following this, adopting this, we are helping us before, and then we are helping others. So this is the whole idea what we are implementing here, and alhamdulillah it's happening now all over Oman. So far we have gone through more than 1,000 families. And there is like same, if somebody want and somebody want to give, they both are meeting each other. We are just becoming a bridge among them. So no money involved, no any meeting involved. It's a simple meeting.
Jazakallah khair, brother Bilal. Amazing effort. One thing I want to add here,
Yes.
that he is helping out people of all faith and all nationalities.
Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, this is very good. And this is the spirit that we want to see in neighborhoods, in villages, in areas, in communities. You know, everyone has to be proactive and also think out of the box. As the brother has said, the idea is very good. They don't, need to travel. They don't need to meet. Everything is done through technology.
No money handling is involved.
We have our next caller is Miss Maryam Al-Alawi, who is from Muscat here, resided in Muscat, and she was part of a voluntary campaign. So let us see what Miss Maryam has to say. Assalamu alaikum, Maryam. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, how's everything?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, Ramadan Kareem, and it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me to the show, and looking forward for your questions.
Inshallah. So, Miss Maryam, I understand that you were part of a campaign during the pandemic as a volunteer. How was that experience, and where was it?
That experience, it was very deep in terms of humanity factor.
Yes.
It was in Qadab and Matrah.
Yes.
I have experienced for 2 days, to be honest, and it was a very spiritual experience, I could say. Or more, you can say it's more about self-discovery by then.
Subhanallah.
See, going through this experience itself and distributing the goods within the area, it really made us see the reflection of the reality that was not predicted by then, and how people are really looking for hope through other people who they don't know them as well, and don't know what to expect from them, and to get that type of support within this pandemic situation that we are going through. But nevertheless, you can say it was an experience that it had a lot of joy, and it had a lot of seeing how can the human accept the goods or the willingness of people to help them around and to distribute that sort of happiness within them.
Maryam, you were sitting at home. What made you decide that you want to go out to the street and maybe risk your life and go and volunteer and do something good like that, like this?
To be honest, it was mixed up of emotions. That okay, I'm here, I'm having my family, I'm safe, I'm surrounded, but you do see others are not. At the same time, you could say, Brother Hatem, it was more of self-discovery, and it was more of mix of emotions and confusions that I was going through. And I wanted to go out there just not to distract myself within the consequence of what's going on in my business life.
Yes.
But it was more of maybe I can find an idea through the eyes of people, and at the same time to discover who is really Maryam as a human being as well.
MashaAllah.
It's not that I'm trying to show off something here, but sometimes Bini Adam or the person want to find a message out down there and see within the eyes of people how can life be even tougher to them from you complaining. So for me it was more of a journey of self-discovery and see what I can develop my humanity sensor that I'm looking for.
Finally, Ukhti Maryam, what is your message to the young people out there today who are still not volunteers?
I have actually two messages. One of the messages is for the people who are staying home, stop complaining, because what you're going to see out there, it's not what you're complaining exactly. The other message is they are out there and volunteering and helping people. عافية عليكم. That's what I can say, because whatever I have did down there, it's nothing comparing for those people who they are doing it by days and night and with whole spirit and whole strength and believing that we can make a drive and change.
Jazakallah khair, Ukhti Maryam. Thank you very much for being part of the show, and hope to see you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Ma'as-salama.
It's amazing, man. Very encouraging, very deep thoughts.
Yeah, and subhanallah, she went during the lockdown of Matrah, and that was a very critical time where the people of Matrah, they needed the support and help from volunteers, of course working with the government and the authorities to make this happen. And bringing this idea, I wanted to mention that any volunteering work is supporting the government, because the government is concerned now with bigger problems like spreading of the pandemic, the economical effect, the oil prices, keeping law and order, and so on. So we need to extend our hands to the government and be part of this initiative.
Exactly.
We need to support the government, because the government can't do every single thing. We need to help. We need to be part of the society. So like the volunteers who are in the lockdown of Matrah, who are working day and night, as Sister Maryam mentioned, feeding people, taking care of people, organizing them in lines, encouraging people to come and be tested. All this work, it saved the government a lot of effort.
Exactly.
The government can rechannel its resources into something bigger, into something else.
What I really appreciated, Sister Maryam advice or sharing her inner thoughts, which can be classified as emotional intelligence, that she thought that she was having it easy.
Yes.
So what about others? Are they having it easy or not? So this is a part of what we call self-reflection or thinking in words. And then she not only thought about it, but she got up and she took action.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people out there, they understand that people need help, but they would be like, oh, what can I do, or I don't know where to go, and that's the end of it. They will not make an effort to take this initiative to the next level, where they make an effort to find out who they can cooperate with in order to make a positive change.
If the concern is only lying in your heart and you're thinking about it day and night while you're watching TV, then you're not actually doing anything,
Exactly.
Do
Because
something about it, ask the people who are part of this.
Exactly.
If I take the example of Maryam, she decided to do this. For sure, she might have called someone, asked about it. How can I volunteer? Where can I volunteer?
Exactly.
When can I volunteer?
Exactly.
What should I do? With my set of skills, what can I help? So be proactive and go and find out.
Yeah, because we are told that knowledge is a potential asset. It becomes an asset when you put it into action.
Yes.
So in terms of another thing to be watch out for, and we've discussed a number of points already, is connecting volunteers with the right task. So think of it as a corporate world without the salary.
Yes.
So yes, if the situation is dire and let's say, for example, it's a disaster zone and we're in relief work, then obviously since we're working on mostly on a skeleton crew, even the doctor has to pick up boxes, like you mentioned, and we should not say no, depending on the team leader. But in this situation, which is still different, alhamdulillah, from a war zone, it's quite urgent, but it's still different.
Yes.
We have the luxury of matching the right person with the right skills. So, for example, if you're very good, I'm just giving an example, in terms of counseling or mentoring, and people out there, like Bilal was saying, that it's not just monetary, it's psychological also. So instead of you picking up the boxes, perhaps you can sit and listen to them and counsel them and tell them what is in the Quran and Sunnah and why what's happening is happening, and what they can do to improve their inner condition. So this will result in efficiency and effectiveness.
We have our next call for today, Ayman. Assalamu alaikum, Ayman.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you today?
Alhamdulillah.
It's an honor to have you on the show, Ayman.
Yeah.
It's an honor to have you on the show.
So much. I'm really happy to be part of this big initiative with you.
Yes.
Creating, raising awareness about whatever involving us on this earth. So
Inshallah.
you're doing a very good job uniting
Jazakallah
us together.
Jazakallah khair, Ayman. Ayman, you have an initiative with your sisters feeding.
Can you increase a little bit your voice?
Yes, I was saying that you have an initiative with your sisters feeding people during the month of Ramadan. Can you tell us a little bit about that initiative, how it started?
The initiative started when we started, when the lockup started.
Yes.
About 2 weeks before Ramadan, we find our laborers who we call for electrical issues, plumbing issues. So we knew a lot of workers on the street that when we are in need, they're the one that they come and help us in the house, outside you need to cut your trees or something.
Yes.
And they were all struggling with no food because they've lost income and they don't really see when is the end of this
pandemic
app is going.
Yes.
Yeah. So we brainstormed with my sisters, what can we do? We cannot eat and see other people, in our neighborhood, in our country. We are the host in Oman, and these are our people who came to help to build our country.
Our guests. Yes.
Yeah?
Our guests.
Amazing, mashallah.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Ayman.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so we said, okay, what can we do? I said, maybe we start by buying rice and dal, because there are so many that we cannot offer more than that, and then with that amount, in that way we can give them more people. So we started by giving 100 meal, which is very simple, dal and rice, and within 5 seconds 100 meals are finished, and still we couldn't look on the people who are remain, like another 100 are standing there. We get in the car quickly and run away because we couldn't face them to show that we have nothing. So then we said, and then now Ramadan is coming, what are we going to do? So we said, we are 3 sisters, each one start raising, calling for their neighbors, each one to join us in feeding these people. And we knew if we buy food from restaurant, it's going to cost us more, but if we buy rice and dal, we can cook and feed more people.
Excellent.
So that's how we started cooking ourselves. And subhanallah, unbelievable that the work of Allah said, just plant the seed. Don't worry about how the tree will grow. That is in His own hand, and He's Ar-Razaq. People, they start calling and asking, how can we help? And we said, whatever you can do, you can bring rice, you can bring dal, you can bring onion, you can come yourself and help. And amazing, we, in the end, to make the story short, we find ourselves joining, it's called Sadat Al-Sheikh, which is a volunteering organization in Wilayat Sib. All the young people came and offered their help, and they donate. People, they start bringing rice, people, they bring chicken, people, they bring goat, and they are on the queue now, each one, for their day to contribute on meat and provision for these people. Unbelievable. We still we cannot comprehend how Allah can do this, from a small, and this is promise of Allah. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهُ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ الْأَمْرِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. In His hand, everything is possible. So He is the one who's feeding these people. It passed on us on transit, but this all from Allah, feeding His people. So we are working with the Sadat Al-Sheikh volunteering organization in Wilayat Sib, which before I didn't know that this thing exists, and it is under Sheikh Qasim Al-Amri of Majlis Shura Wilayat Sib. So now we are feeding about 800. Yesterday we reached 800 meals, and we aim to at least go to 1,000 meals per day.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So you have a set of volunteers there at your house, the ones who are cutting onions, cooking and doing.
It is my 3 sisters. We are 3 sisters, and we have together we have 6 children, and so those children and us, we have job allocation. Natalia gets Leban from the shop, and they sit together, put water. We started with only rice and dal. Now we give them fruit, we give them Leban, juice, water, and chicken, beef, so they get a well-balanced meal. And at the time of this, when people, they need to have a good immune system to be able to fight the enemy we cannot see, coronavirus, they need to eat healthy. By the grace of Almighty, they get every day 1 full meal.
Ayman, I just wanted to ask you about the challenges that you are facing, like storage. So you have a lot of quantity of meat and chicken and vegetables and so on. Storing this, all this food it might be challenging. How are you managing?
What we've done for the meat, we have put people on queue that they don't bring every day. So people who want to bring meat, we tell them, you will bring on the 4th, you bring on this day, and so that they bring only on the day. So we don't have to store the meat. But the rice and dal and onion, we have a yard in my sister's house who live Sausan. Everybody knows as Sausan. And so we keep in her yard, and that's where we cook. And we pack the food, and we pack the cars, and then we drive. Amazingly, the preparation takes long time, but the distribution take about 20 minutes to distribute 800 meals.
Ayman, if you want someone to chop the onions, then I'll be there on Friday, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, sister.
And the thing is, it is so nice that to see that at this time that still people we can get together. So this hard time bring people together. It reminded me of Gonu. And tell me if my time is finished, because I'm really passionate about this.
This show is for you, Ayman.
Yeah, so it brings the memory of Gonu, when all the young people and all whoever was able, we all when we could get out, we got out, fill the car and go and distribute to the people who are affected with Gonu. So it is similar situation. Yeah.
MashaAllah.
So we still need to get together, and the problem we hear, like in Mabela, there is a lot of people in need, especially to the Sanaiya industrial area. Those people are isolated from families, so they are really, I hear, they are really dying in hunger, and it really breaks my heart to hear. I haven't seen, but we get the news from the people who come to collect, because now we also distribute foodstuff boxes, which we created our own boxes, which we give more supplies, which will last at least for 3 weeks with in family of 5.
MashaAllah.
And those people who come, they say in Mabela Sanaiya, they need help. So my advice is for the people of Mabela, they can get together with a charity. I think they've got a charitable organization, which is Al-Rahma. They need to go to the industrial area, because I know Al-Rahma, they are giving, but if it's a location that somebody has to walk for 5 kilometers, they cannot work. They cannot walk to follow 1 meal. So we need to be kind enough to take the food to where they are.
Inshallah.
Sister, what we'll do is we'll take your details, and with your permission we'll put it on our Facebook page also, for people out there who are willing to help, but they don't know how to get to the right person. So they can contact you, and I'm sure with the help of Allah you'll find a lot of volunteers and resources within Mabela. And we'll also try to use our circle of influence to get them to assist, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah, that will be very good help.
Our pleasure.
Because we cannot together we can do it. You know, as Allah created us with 2 hands, But in the two hands, we have 5 fingers in each. So together 10 fingers, you can do a lot. Can you imagine if we had only hands without fingers? We would never be able to do what we are doing now. So together we can move the earth.
Inshallah.
And we can help. And it's a shame on this day and age somebody would die with hunger.
Subhanallah.
So we need to help. We need to help not only Muslim. Normally we give iftar during Ramadan for people who are fasting. At the moment, we need to feed everybody who is hungry.
Correct.
Because there are two things together now merged. Ramadan and Corona, locked up, people losing their income, and they have if I don't have food, my auntie would come in, my sister. But can you imagine if this happened in a country which is not your home?
Right.
So you expect the citizen to be kind enough to help, and this is Islam.
Jazakallah khair, Ayman. Thank you very much for your note and your advice, and inshallah we'll spread the word.
And I would like to thank everybody who donating, contributing, distributing. We are just on the front runner, but there are many thousands of people behind who are contributing and helping without being noticed.
Wonderful.
We really extended our grateful thanks to them as well. And may Allah reward each one of us abundantly.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair, Ayman. Shukran.
Afwan. Shukran. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. This is so sweet of it. I don't know how many points to pick from this talk. This is the reality. She can thank them, but only Allah can reward them.
Well, they out of everything she said a lot of nice things. One of the things that really caught my attention is she said that it is a shame that someone dies out of hunger.
Correct.
In this day and age.
Correct.
With all the resources that we have, with all the funds that we have, we are still
transportation, logistics.
We are still a very small community compared to other countries. Other countries you have 100 million, 200 million population, but we are very small population still. So this is still manageable if we stick together and work together as a team and complement one another, and find the right thing to do. Just don't sit idle.
Yeah, I really appreciate where she mentioned the ayah of the Quran also, and I was thinking that here's another ayah which really is applicable to her and what she's doing. This is in chapter 90, and it's part of, I think, between 11 to 16 verses.
Yes.
Where God talks about, telling us like what is breaking through the difficult path, and it is the freeing of a slave, or feeding on a day of severe hunger, an orphan or near relative, or a needy person in misery.
Yes.
This is what Islam is about.
Subhanallah. There are certain things that I want to highlight here, Muhammad, which are important. Volunteering should not be on the expense of no harm. What do I mean by this? People who are into volunteering now, they have to be very, very careful. They have to be careful about making sure the food is hygiene, so that no food poisoning cases, because
social distancing,
food is very delicate, very easy it can go bad, and social distancing and taking precautions, you don't want to do goodness, and at the same time you inflict yourself with the virus or inflict others with the virus. So please, volunteers out there, make sure these two things are important.
Exactly.
The second thing, Muhammad, I wanted to highlight is priorities. There are certain things are obligatory on us, and there are certain things that are voluntary. So if you are a volunteer and doing volunteering day and night throughout the day, and you don't pray at all, that is not an excuse. Your volunteering is it's an additional thing that you do, that you're not accountable for, but praying is obligatory, and if you don't pray or you don't fast and you're doing volunteering, then you have to rethink about your priorities.
Exactly.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us about the things which are obligatory. So complete the goodness that you're doing with your rituals. A lot of volunteers they can, pray on site. If they don't have the water, even they can use sand, but don't miss your prayers.
Exactly. See, this brings us back to the same example we did a few shows back, that people would do Umrah every year, but they would not do Hajj.
Yes.
And they would be giving charity to the poor, but they would not calculate zakah. So this is again a golden opportunity in terms of volunteering, but don't let shaitan hijack this cause and ruin your deeds to the point where you don't even know. You keep on thinking you're doing something amazing, and you say, okay, so what, I missed a couple of salahs, Allah will forgive me. But again, like you mentioned rightfully, there is a clear line between the obligations and the volunteering.
Okay, we have our next caller for today, who is a Canadian Omani, Mr. Hamza, who is volunteering in Ma'bela Industrial Area. So we got the right man. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Hamza.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you, Mr. Hamza?
I'm doing well, alhamdulillah. Good to hear from you.
Just to introduce you to everyone, Mr. Hamza, you're an English teacher. And you're Canadian and based in Oman now, settling in Oman.
Exactly, yes, sir.
MashaAllah. And just a few minutes ago, talking to Ayman, and she was talking about the Ma'bela Industrial Area.
I heard that.
Which is your area. So tell us about that. What's happening?
Okay. So I work with an organization called Al-Ithar.
Yes.
Al-Ithar group is based in Ma'bela Janubiyya, which is the southern part of Ma'bela. And just to put it out there, Ma'bela is actually the largest. I just learned this is actually the largest city in all of Oman, population-wise.
Okay.
Anyways, we work in Ma'bela, and there's a lot of work needed in Ma'bela, but we work just a little bit outside of the Sanaiya area, the industrial area. We work in the Souk Tijari area, which is formerly known as Souk Haramiya.
Yes.
So in this area, we prepare every day at 5 o'clock. We prepare meals, and how our program works with Al-Ithar is we pay Omani families 1 riyal to prepare a meal, a little carton, a little package.
Yes.
And these Omani families get paid 1 riyal to make these meals, and then bring them to us, sets of 30, and then we distribute them, and like I said, we pay them. So that way, those families that are in need get paid 1 riyal. And then we distribute the food, and they get the blessings, and
amazing.
Inshallah, we get the blessings as well for distributing the food every day at this souk.
MashaAllah, Ustad Hamza, that's a very good initiative where also the local community benefits out of this initiative. So what is the scale of the distribution, Mr. Hamza? How many people are you feeding on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, it's increasing. We're getting up to over 500 now, almost hitting 6. We started running out of food, and subhanAllah, yesterday we just randomly we got burgers from Burger King that came in, and at the end, and people just see us, and they just pull up, and they start bringing us food, and so sometimes we will continue it, and at that time I can't even count anymore. Maybe we're hitting plus 600.
Subhanallah. And this is only in one location?
This is only in one location, yes.
So, subhanallah. But this is next to the industrial area, right?
No, not next to the industrial area. This is at there's a brand new Tim Hortons there on this roundabout, and I forget the name of the roundabout, but it's traditional Souk Ma'bela, traditional souk, also formerly known as Souk Haramiya. And it's in the parking lot of this area, in the Shahnaz parking lot.
Mr. Hamza, did the team get in touch with the local social committee from the Wali office, to get support or assistance?
That I would not be sure. I randomly stumbled upon this organization. I didn't know much, but I saw what they were doing, and I just joined in. I didn't get involved with too much of how they're doing and things like that, and that's it. So I don't know too much. Like I said, I just started in the first week of Ramadan.
Yeah. Okay. So what is needed the most at the moment, Mr. Hamza? Do you need manpower, or do you need food or resources, or what exactly?
Definitely manpower. I think number one is people volunteer for a day or two, and then they're gone. And then. And people also work too. They had their 2 weeks holiday, and then they finish now. As you know, we're in the third week almost of Ramadan. So that happens. I had to call some personal Canadian friends of mine all the way from Bosher just to come out and help me. So I started to get 3 more volunteers. That's how bad it was. And I mean, like I just said, the population of Marbella is very high, but very few people come out and commit to themselves. So we're lacking manpower. And of course, we have another program as well. And I work with 2 charity organizations. So I also work with the Oman Charitable Organization in Marbella, which is based in Sanaya as well, the industrial area. And in the evening, we deliver food boxes to homes. And so we find, we focus on Marbella, the north side, Sharadi area, and also Marbella, the southern part. And in this box, as Ayman mentioned, mashallah, she was a good host, a good guest. We also prepare the boxes with with the basic necessities: rice, lentils, chickpeas, oil, flour, and we've also added meat as well. Now this is something that we just started. We just added meat, and with these boxes, we deliver them to homes. Now with Oman Charitable Organization, they have them prepared, but with this one, with Ithar Group, we're going to different places trying to find the cheapest price and donate them. And I mean, because I've lived in America, I grew up in America, and I'm Canadian. I've just used my social contacts in Canada and the U.S. and subhanAllah, I'd say 80 to 90% of the donations for the food boxes have all come from the West. Personally to me. So I can say that, I mean, it's a larger population out there, and as long as people, they know you and they trust you, and I've been doing this kind of work for a while, I think if people trust, the main thing is if they trust, they see photos, that helps. And that's another thing that I think that a lot of people are like, oh, don't take pictures. But of course, if people, you don't want to take pictures, but sometimes it's really important to have proof.
Social proof,
that people can see that, oh, he's doing something. I just had a guy yesterday message me from Canada, a relative of mine, and he said, listen, if I send you this money, and he sent me 200 riyals. If I send you this money, will you do it yourself by your hand, 100%? And I said, I promise, I will. And then he sent it. So, that's another thing I think a lot of people fear. So we do lack sometimes finances, but manpower mostly.
Okay. Well, Brother Hamza, I wish I could commit on the manpower part, and I'll try to see if I can find some people who are residing already out of Marbella and who can assist. However, when you mentioned the part about getting resources from wholesalers, that's probably where I can connect you to some good parties, and I'll get your details from Brother Hatim over here.
Inshallah, that would be good. And I would like also, from all these callers, I listened to all of them before I got your call, and I said to myself, I would love to sit down with all of them and connect with them, because I think we all have a lot of information.
This can be done, inshallah. It will be done,
inshallah.
And it can also close a lot of gaps.
We can avoid replication in terms of deliveries, logistics, and collaborate with each other.
And complement one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamza, for your effort, and may Allah bless you and bless all the volunteers out there.
Ameen, Ya Rab. And I just want to say this last point. I don't have a job. I just came to Oman 2 months ago. I was a student in university, and I came on a visitor visa. And my wife is Omani, but I don't have a job, and I don't have any income. But I just and this is for the people that don't have anything. I just want to go out and do something. So sometimes you don't need to have money. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't personally contributed anything. But sometimes we just need people to gather money, and that's all we can do, and help. So if you don't have money and you feel like you don't have a job or anything, there's so many different things you can do. And I know you guys spoke on this earlier, I heard.
Jazakallah khair, Mr. Hamza.
Brother Hamza, you're investing your time, which is more important and valuable than money.
Yeah, we don't need the money. The money will come from Allah. We need the hands. And a lot of those hands, they find connections.
Jazakallah khair, Mr. Hamza. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Take care.
Have a blessed day.
Assalamu alaikum.
I think we're coming to the end of the program, Muhammad, and there are still a few things that I want to talk about. One of the things that I want to talk about, the types of volunteering. You can volunteer through funds or manpower, or feeding people, or supporting medical teams,
or spreading the message,
or translation of news. There are a lot of volunteers I heard now. They're translating the news into different languages for people to understand. And we have social media and religious preaching. People who do Zoom classes on religion, on other aspects,
to highlight this
from their home. And speaking of social media, I would like to highlight also the contribution of some of the brothers and sisters on social media who are very popular. They have a lot of followers, and they're using this time, not to brand themselves, but they're using this time to help the society, to spread the words. And to this I would like to salute 3 of them who have been very active. One is Brother Ahmed Murad, and one is Brother Muhammad al-Mukhaini, and one is Brother Abdul Hakim al-Salhi. These 3 brothers, mashallah, they have a clear message they spread to people in terms of volunteering. And let us not also forget the charity organizations like Al-Rahmat Team, Farooq al-Nida, and Dar al-Ata, and other volunteering team that we are not aware of. So may Allah bless you all in this.
Yeah, pretty much I would like to wrap up with a few ayahs from the Quran. In chapter 76 verse 8 it says, "And they feed for the love of Allah the indigent, the orphan, and the captive." In another place it says, chapter 22 verse 77, "And do good that you may succeed." So final thoughts are, let's benefit ourselves by benefiting others, because whatever we do for ourselves ends with us, but whatever we do for others remains even after we are gone from this world. And Allah says in Quran verse 5, it's chapter 5 verse 2, "And cooperate in righteousness and piety, and do not cooperate in sin and aggression."
My final message to everyone out there: if you can help in any way, don't wait for tomorrow. Do it. And to me, it's a commitment. Inshallah, on Friday, I'm going to chop onions with Ayman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.